Things. Today's talk focuses on first Tesla's ability to circumvent legacy companies for sales and service, as well as the 75K discount on Teslas, and also the location of the new headquarters for truck production at Tesla. This is Greg for Tesla Fan Insight. Thanks for taking time out once again. If this is your first time, please like and subscribe. We could also use your support on Patreon. If you're a returning guest, welcome back. We look forward to a good dialogue. My talk begins with the fact that Daimler had mentioned that Tesla couldn't compete based on their inability to do sales and service on a global basis in the same way that they could. So what I found interesting about this circumstance is just the fact that Tesla has been able to circumvent it by primarily selling to fleets. So by focusing on large organizations, for example, Walmart has 6,500 trucks, Pepsi just ordered 100 units, and they have 10,000 trucks that are out on deliveries. So Tesla has found ways to sort of get around the blockade of the fact that they don't have the service network. So when you mess with a fleet, it's great because fleets already have their own service facilities in the form of mechanics that are full-time on staff. And once they're trained into the low level of maintenance required for electric, there's no issue in terms of any kind of maintenance issues that might pop up. The second issue is sales. When you're buying large numbers of trucks, you already have your sales organization isn't really necessary because you're going direct manufacturer to sort of scale level of sales. So there's no issue on that front either. In the case of Tesla, there isn't enough inventory, to sell to a whole bunch of other people anyway. The third issue is sort of cost containment / routes of trucks. So when you're also dealing with fleets, they tend to run the same routes all the time. So it can be a beneficial circumstance to have easy access to routes that are consistent. So you could build either more or less battery to accommodate elevations, as well as possible running longer distance might mean carrying bigger battery versus a shorter distance would mean more freight. And you don't need the bigger battery. So there's flexibility that they have there. We're actually going to be doing a talk on torque vectoring, which relates to the fact that you can put motors in, the number of motors you put inside of the wheels can change, and that can affect jackknifing and braking and other issues that are substantial. So, long-winded statement to say, basically, by going with fleets, Tesla circumvents the issues that Daimler-Benz raised about their inability to service and sell trucks against the larger players, both in the United States and globally. We move on now to the whole issue of the new headquarters. As we've discussed, it turns out that Tesla actually has chosen to put their new headquarters in 1 million square feet. That's about 20 miles east of the Fremont plant in a place called Livermore, California. Now, when I first read about this, I sort of got queasy because I'm hoping Tesla makes it. But when I read that they, in the local paper, that they were building or leasing 1 million square feet, it wasn't clear why. I was nervous that they were trying to put themselves out of business. But once the truck and the Roadster were introduced, it was clear what was going to be happening in that building. I have to admit that I was really rooting for a build location closer to the Gigafactory because it just seems more efficient to have the drivetrain as well as the batteries roll out and then add the other parts and you're a finished product. But there are challenges with Reno because Tesla has consumed most of the housing and available manpower in Reno. And by locating closer to the plant, management can stay more involved with production. And you also have the benefit of a larger job market and housing market to support it. The location that they've chosen is a place called Livermore, California, which I think a lot of the Tesla employees will be eager to get to because it's closer to inexpensive housing in the Central Valley. It also has the benefit of being proximate to a nearby freeway. I believe there's a rail link as well for moving goods in that fashion. And in general, I kind of feel like it's a winner location that they chose for a whole bunch of reasons, even though I still do like the Reno location better. The other negative, I think, for that spot is the fact that they had chosen to go in what's called the Central Valley, which is 25 or 30 miles away. It would have facilitated getting a piece of land that's maybe 5 or 6 times the size of what they did. And now you can put a test track in and other things that you can't do, where you just have, two large warehouses that you're building a roadster as well as a semi in. So the model for doing all this is something called the Nuremberg Ring, which is sort of a German test track facility. I believe that's run by Porsche, but it's legendary with having a large number of famous vehicles do their thing in those facilities. The next thing I wanted to cover is the fact that, and final thing is just the fact that Canada has announced that they're offering a $75,000 per vehicle refund, if you will, on the use of electric vehicles. At initial sight, I was kind of surprised because, as you know, they're drawing oil out of the tar sands, and it does a lot of pollution and damage. But that 75,000 is an impressive number, but it kind of feels a little bit like fake news, only because number one, there's no abundance of vehicles currently, and it'll probably be 3 to 5 years before there'll be large numbers of Tesla trucks on the road based on availability of batteries and just availability of a completed factory. The second issue that pops up is that, there's a whole bunch of very big companies like Walmart ahead of the Canadian buyers. And because you're getting a 1,000,000-mile distance on those vehicles, that $75,000 discount isn't going to affect, the current buyers that are involved stand to save 200,000 to 300,000 per vehicle over the life of that vehicle between electricity, maintenance costs, as well as just length of life of the vehicle. So the 75K is not a threat to people buying trucks and getting the 75K back. So, I think this generally covers what I'd like to look at today. Looking forward to any and all comments. Please be respectful of other folks on our page. This is Greg for Tesla Fan Insight. Please like and subscribe. Tschüss, macht's gut. Au revoir, להתראות, תודה hafer.